Have you ever caught yourself daydreaming about a life where you're free to spend your mornings lingering over breakfast, strolling through a park, or finally tackling that hobby you've put off for years? That moment when you realize your yearning for freedom might be your heart telling you it's time to retire, maybe even sooner than you planned. For those of you in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, retirement isn't just a distant milestone, it's a chance to live your best life filled with joy, health, and meaningful moments. But how do you know if you're ready to take that leap earlier than you thought? In this video, I'm sharing 8 signs that you're ready to retire sooner than you think, helping you navigate challenges like finances, health, and lifestyle choices with confidence. These signs will show you if it's time to trade the daily grind for a life of fulfillment. So grab a cozy spot, maybe a cup of tea, and let's dive into the first sign that retirement might be closer than you realize. The first sign you're ready to retire earlier than you think is that you've built a financial safety net that doesn't depend on Social Security alone. Money talk can feel like a chore, but think of it as the key to unlocking your dream retirement. Social Security is like the sprinkles on a cupcake, nice to have, but it's not the whole dessert. If you've got savings, investments, or maybe a small pension that can cover your essentials, like groceries, utilities, or even a weekend getaway, you're in a strong position to retire early. Financial experts like Javan Johnson from Peace of Wealth Planning stress that true readiness means Social Security is just a bonus, not your lifeline. Let's say your monthly expenses are around $3,500 based on what many retirees spend. If you've got a nest egg generating income, maybe through dividends or a 401k, that covers most of that, you're on the right track. I've seen this firsthand with my friend Clara, who retired at 61 after years of squirreling away savings. She didn't have millions, but her modest investments let her live, simply spending her days painting and visiting her grandkids. That's the kind of freedom we're talking about. If you're unsure, sit down with a financial advisor or even a trusted friend to review your accounts. Ask yourself, can I cover my needs without counting on Social Security? If the answer's leaning toward yes, you're closer to retirement than you might think. The trick is to start planning now, set aside a little extra each month, or explore low-risk investments to boost your cushion. That way, you're not just retiring, you're retiring with peace of mind. Next up, the second sign, you're debt-free or nearly there. Debt is like carrying a heavy suitcase on a long journey. It slows you down and steals your energy. If you've paid off your mortgage, cleared your credit cards, or settled that car loan, you're setting yourself up for a retirement where your money works for you, not your creditors. Being debt-free means your savings go toward living your life, maybe a trip to see family, or a new gardening project, rather than monthly bills. I remember my cousin Ed, who worked until 67 because he was still paying off a second mortgage. When he finally cleared it, he retired at 68 and said it felt like he'd been given a new lease on life. He now spends his days fishing and volunteering at his local community center, free from financial stress. If you're not quite debt-free, don't worry, you can get there. Try focusing on high-interest debts first, like credit cards with 18% rates, which can save you hundreds annually. For example, paying off a $4,000 credit card balance could save you $720 a year in interest money you can redirect to your retirement dreams. Another approach is the snowball method. Start with your smallest debt to build momentum, then tackle the bigger ones. Whichever path you choose, the goal is to enter retirement without those financial anchors. If you're looking at your finances and seeing minimal debt, that's a huge sign you're ready to retire earlier than you thought. The third sign is that your health is whispering, or maybe shouting, that it's time to slow down. This one hits close to home because as we age, our bodies and minds start sending us messages. Maybe you're in your 60s and notice that long work days leave you exhausted, or you're dealing with joint pain that wasn't there a few years ago. Retirement isn't just about money, it's about having the time to care for yourself and enjoy life. If work is draining your energy or worsening your health, that's a sign to consider retiring early. I think of my neighbor Linda, who retired at 63 after noticing her chronic stress from a demanding job was spiking her blood pressure. She wasn't seriously ill, but she knew slowing down would help. Now she's walking daily, trying new recipes, and even started a book club with friends. Retiring early gave her the space to prioritize her health, and she's never looked back. Health challenges don't mean you're frail, they're just reminders to listen to your body. Maybe it's time to swap stressful commutes for morning stretches or doctor's visits for preventive care. If you're feeling that tug to focus on your well-being, it's a powerful sign that early retirement could be the key to a longer, happier life. We've covered three big signs: having a financial safety net, being debt-free, and listening to your health. These are all about building a retirement that's not just possible, but truly joyful. Stick with me as we explore more signs, like whether your dreams for retirement are starting to take shape and how your relationships might be pointing you toward this exciting new chapter. Now that we've talked about having a financial safety net, being debt-free, and listening to your health, let's keep exploring the signs that you're ready to retire sooner than you thought. These next signs are about your lifestyle, your relationships, and how your daily life feels. They're the kind of clues that sneak up on you, like realizing you're smiling more when you think about life beyond the office. So let's dive into the fourth sign that retirement might be calling your name a little earlier than you planned. The fourth sign is that your lifestyle dreams are starting to feel within reach. Have you ever found yourself flipping through a travel magazine, imagining a trip to the coast, or picturing quiet afternoons spent gardening or reading? If those dreams are becoming clearer and you've got a plan to make them happen, that's a big hint you're ready to retire early. Retirement isn't just about stopping work. It's about starting a new chapter where your time is yours to spend on what lights you up. Maybe you've saved enough to cover a modest trip each year, or you've got a hobby like painting or volunteering that's begging for more of your attention. I think of my friend George, who retired at 62 because he realized he could afford to live simply and spend his days woodworking, something he'd always loved but never had time for. He didn't need a mansion or a yacht, just enough to cover his basics and fund his workshop. That's the key. Your lifestyle dreams don't have to be extravagant, but they do need to be clear. Sit down and write out what you want your days to look like. Maybe it's coffee with friends, time with grandkids, or even learning a new skill like cooking. Then look at your savings and see if they align. For example, if your dream is to travel, budgeting $2,000 a year for a few trips might be doable if you've got a solid nest egg. If you're starting to see that your savings can support the life you want, that's a sign you're ready to retire sooner than you think. The trick is to start small, maybe plan one dream activity for your first year of retirement and build from there. It's about living intentionally, not expensively. Moving on to the fifth sign, your work no longer sparks joy. Remember when your job felt exciting or at least satisfying? If that feeling has faded and you're dragging yourself through the workday, it might be time to consider early retirement. This isn't about hating your job. It's about noticing that it's not adding to your happiness anymore. Maybe you're in your 60s or 70s, and the long hours, tight deadlines, or office politics are wearing you down. I've seen this with my Aunt Marie, who worked as a nurse until 64. She loved helping people, but the constant stress and night shifts started to feel like a burden. When she retired, she found new ways to help her community, like tutoring kids at her local library, without the exhaustion. That shift made her realize she could have retired a year or two earlier. Ask yourself, does your job still give you a sense of purpose, or is it just a habit? If you're staying because you're used to it, not because it fulfills you, that's a sign to start planning your exit. You could explore part-time work or volunteering to ease the transition, but the goal is to free up your time for what truly matters. For instance, cutting back to 20 hours a week could be a test run to see if retirement feels right. If you're finding that work is more draining than rewarding, it's a clear signal that early retirement could bring back your spark. The sixth sign is that your relationships are ready for more of your time. Retirement isn't just about you, it's about the people you love. If you're noticing that you want to spend more time with your spouse, kids, grandkids, or friends, that's a sign you're ready to retire early. Maybe you're missing family dinners because of late meetings, or you can't visit your grandkids as often as you'd like. Relationships thrive on time, and retirement gives you that gift. I remember my colleague David, who retired at 63 because he wanted to be there for his wife, who was dealing with arthritis. He didn't want to look back and regret missing those moments with her. They now take short walks together every morning, and he says it's been the best part of retirement. Talk to your partner or family about what retirement might look like. Maybe it's planning a weekly game night or helping your kids with a home project. Communication is key, as financial advisor Mark Hebner from Index Fund Advisors points out. He suggests regular conversations with your spouse to ensure you're both on the same page about retirement goals. If you're single, think about your friendships or community ties. Maybe you want to join a book club or volunteer at a local charity. If you're feeling that pull to invest in your relationships and you've got the financial stability to make it happen, that's a strong sign early retirement is right around the corner. These signs, having lifestyle dreams within reach, losing passion for work, and craving more time for relationships, are all about aligning your life with what matters most. They're like guideposts pointing you toward a retirement that's not just financially secure, but emotionally rich. Stay with me as we explore the final signs, including how your financial portfolio and family responsibilities might be telling you it's time to retire sooner than you think. We've been exploring the signs that retirement might be closer than you think, from having a financial cushion to craving more time for relationships. Now let's wrap up with the final two signs that could be nudging you toward those golden years sooner than you planned. These signs are about tying up loose ends and making sure your future is as bright as you've always hoped. So let's dive into the seventh sign and see if it resonates with you. The seventh sign is that you're no longer financially supporting kids or parents. If your children are grown living independently and handling their own expenses, or if your aging parents are secure without your financial help, you're in a great position to retire early. Supporting family can be one of the biggest reasons people delay retirement. It's hard to step away from work when others depend on you. I think of my friend Helen, who kept working until 66 because she was helping her daughter pay off student loans. Once her daughter landed a stable job, Helen retired at 67 and felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She now spends her days knitting blankets for her grandkids and taking pottery classes, things she couldn't fully enjoy while juggling family expenses. The rising costs of college housing or even medical care for elderly parents can make it tough to cut back on work. For example, the average cost of assisting a parent with in-home care can run $2,000 a month, which eats into your savings fast. If you're still supporting family, it's okay to have a heart-to-heart with them about your retirement dreams. Maybe you can help in non-financial ways, like spending time together or sharing skills. If you're at a point where your kids and parents are financially stable, that's a huge sign you're ready to retire sooner than you thought. It means your income can focus on your life, whether that's traveling, hobbies, or just relaxing at home. To get there, start planning early, set boundaries with financial support, or explore resources like Medicaid for parents if needed. When your financial responsibilities are yours alone, early retirement becomes a real possibility. The eighth sign is that your investment portfolio is ready to support your lifestyle. This one's about making sure your savings and investments are in shape to carry you through retirement. A solid portfolio isn't just about having money, it's about knowing it's working for you. Financial experts often talk about three factors: the size of your portfolio, its expected growth, and how much you'll need to maintain your lifestyle. If you've got a mix of savings stocks or bonds that can generate steady income, you're on the right track. For instance, a $500,000 $1,000 portfolio with a 4% withdrawal rate could give you $20,000 a year, which combined with other income might cover your needs. I remember my Uncle Ray, who retired at 64 after meeting with a financial advisor to review his portfolio. He'd taken some hits during a market dip, but by shifting to safer investments like bonds, he felt confident his savings would last. If you don't have a portfolio yet, it's never too late to start. Even a simple index fund can grow over time, and a financial advisor can help you set it up. The key is to know your numbers, how much you need yearly, maybe $40,000 for a comfortable but modest lifestyle, and how your investments can meet that. If your portfolio is in good shape, or you're ready to make it work, that's a clear sign early retirement is within reach. And don't forget, as markets fluctuate, consider a more conservative strategy as you near retirement to protect your nest egg. That way, you're not just retiring, you're retiring with confidence. So there you have it, 8 signs that you might be ready to retire earlier than you think. From having a financial cushion and being debt-free to listening to your health-chasing lifestyle dreams, letting go of work that doesn't spark joy, spending time with loved ones, freeing yourself from family support, and ensuring your portfolio is ready. These signs are like a roadmap to your next chapter. Retirement isn't about leaving something behind. It's about stepping into a life that's truly yours. I've seen so many people like Clara with her painting, Ed with his fishing, or Linda with her book club find joy in retirement because they recognized these signs and acted on them. You don't need a fortune or perfect timing. You just need to listen to what your heart, body, and bank account are telling you. So take a moment to reflect which of these signs hit home for you. Maybe jot them down or talk them over with someone you trust. And if you're feeling inspired, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what retirement dreams you're chasing or what's holding you back. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more tips on living your best life at any age. Here's to stepping into your golden years with excitement and confidence. See you in the next one.